Okay, I was going to show you a couple of images here. This image is shot in Chicago in November.
Wow.
Okay, this was just edited in Picasa. Okay, this image is from Picasa. Then I took it into Lightroom. This was with noise, which I didn't like. This image, I'm going to just delete this one. Okay, so this was the original. And then we put it into Lightroom and I did that, which I think is okay. I'm still not, I don't know, which one do we prefer, A or B? A or B? A. I also think the colour is very important. So then I put this one was done in Lightroom again. So this was the original in Picasa.
I like that.
And then look at that, just by wise. This was impossible. This was basically as good as it could have got in camera. Okay, with this kind of horrible yellow light on her, there's nothing you can do about that. That was just the light available at the time. But in Lightroom, we can do that, and it becomes like worthy of the website. What? How? Okay, we'll discuss that another time. But the point is that it's impossible to do without Lightroom. Now this is another picture. This I took was it like a week ago or something. So this was the original picture straight out of the camera, okay? Which again, remember with Lightroom and all that stuff, you have to be working with good imagery to begin with, okay? You have to be working with good imagery to begin with. So I like this picture, I thought it was very cute. So this was the edit that my editor did in Picasa. She just lightened it a little bit, which didn't really talk to me. Then I took it into Lightroom, and this is what I did first, and I felt that it was just overdone. You know what I'm saying? It just looks a little bit fake and a little bit unreal. And then I took it to that. That was in Lightroom. So basically, this is the difference. This was the original, and this is the shot from Lightroom after a decent edit in Lightroom. This is basically what you can do in camera. It doesn't.
I love how you enhance the background.
You can't do too much more in camera than this image, but you can take it to the next step in Lightroom. Okay, and now I just wanted to quickly talk about this. 1 second. So we started off with this image. This is the voice she works with me. We took pictures of her family on Friday, and this is her and her sisters. I found a great place to take pictures, okay? And I posed everyone in. What's the immediate issue with this? Just compositionally, the immediate issue with this image.
Focus on her over there.
She's not.
Forget technically. Just talking about the actual posing.
She's black.
Who's she?
The top left. The back left.
So there's a big no-no in posing people is creating vertical lines with faces. When you have two heads directly above each other, it nearly always creates a break in the image, and it brings down the pleasure of the image ever so slightly. Not ever so slightly, it can be quite a lot more. So now this is me trying to get my stats. Okay, I'm working away getting the right stats, and now once we've got everything correct, now it's time to repose people.
Much better.
Okay, look at the difference here between this here and this image here. Okay, now we've got our right stats as well. So during that, I was actually getting the correct stats, which we'll talk about that today, what that was about. But then in regards to posing, now over here, how can this be improved? Now we're in the world of micro adjustments. We did the macro adjustment. This was the macro adjustment. Okay, now how can this image be added to a little bit? Is there one of the girls who could do something that could change things a little bit?
Get closer, maybe?
Hmm?
Get closer to the faces?
Bring them close. I think it's close enough.
Her hand of the middle girl, put her hand down.
This hand?
Like not in a fist, like down.
It should be, her hand should be on her shoulder, on the Vora's shoulder like that. I think also with her head just tilted in. There we go. There we go. You see the micro adjustments? This wasn't her turning her head. This is me saying, just turn your head slightly towards me. And now we have a perfect image. Everyone got taken care of on an individual level and tweaked on a micro level. So now we have a perfect image. See her hands being fixed. She's holding her hand over here. Her hand's over here. We've got a hand over here, over here. We've got no vertical lines. The image works completely. This is straight out of camera. Completely out of camera.
What about the fact that the one on the left, like in the gene, is like a bit further than everybody else?
A bit further out?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's a problem. The shape created here is very, I mean, there's a few shapes created here. This shape is echoed by the shape of the hands, and the shape of their faces is echoed by the shape of their bodies. We've framed it nicely with all this green. Also very important to remember, we didn't speak about this, but the 3 rules with backgrounds. We're going to learn about this today. Okay, is number 1, the background should be of a comparable exposure and a different colour. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Okay, comparable exposure and different colour. Number 2, you should be trying to get the minimum depth of field that you can. And number 3, you should crop in close. Once you've got that, see, this is the thing about this kind of photography, is now this image needs so little work in post, which means I can actually make money out of my photography, as opposed to have all my time sucked away by post-production, which is what happens to a lot of photographers. That's why I'm trying to teach you to get it right in camera, and then you can actually get away with using Picasa. Don't get me wrong, I use Lightroom, and Lightroom can take images to a different level, but in regards to making money out of photography, which is what we're talking about as a business, there also has to be that level. It has to be a balance between time and perfection. Because if I wanted to take all my images, imagine if I wanted to put, I'm just thinking right now of creating a new package for weddings. Right now my top package is like 15,500 shekels. And I'm thinking about, that's called the diamond package. And I think I'm going to probably do this actually. I'm going to create what's called the blue diamond package for 25,000 shekels. And I'm going to edit the pictures with Lightroom. That's going to be the difference between that level. That's an extra 10,000 shekels.
But you have done that.
Sorry?
You have done that with these, no?
None of these are with Lightroom whatsoever.
That
No,
one?
your wedding ones.
Which one? No, none of these are with Lightroom. We don't use Lightroom for weddings.
Oh.
We use Picasa because the photography is good in camera, which means we're not having to save these pictures, and we're running a business. And it would be nice, I would love to give my clients perfection, but we're doing such a good job in camera already that I don't need to give people that extra thing. But I want to offer it, that's why I'm adding, that's such an avoider for me. Think of how many extra hours of work that is, and I price that, and I think that'll be worth about 10,000 shekels. So I'm gonna have this blue diamond package, whether or not people buy it or not, I have no idea. But that's for this extra energy of creating the perfect images. We're not working on that level. We don't need to be working on that level. Okay.